I quit my manager job at Amazon after only 2 months. Some jobs are not worth taking your time and energy. But how did it come that I was working for Amazon at all? Life does not play that way as you want it to play. Our lives leads us to the weirdest paths, even if our choices does not seem like that at first sight. As I said, I started working in the automotive sector as a project manager. But then came Corona. As the pandemic hit the industry, everybody struggled. They laid many people off their jobs. I was affected as well, and I needed to solve that situation very quick. But every interesting alternative for me was blocked because no one was hiring. Amazon was. Actually, the pandemic years were one of the most successful for Amazon because everyone was ordering from home. I thought, I know Amazon. It started off as a cool tech company with an inspiring history. Let me dive deeper in. And with that, I come to my second conclusion. It never is how it seems. Who does not know them? The cutest couple on the surface. On dates, they are true professionals. Everything seems so fine. But after just a few days, you hear that they broke up, as they were fighting all the time. So everything is about coverage. Coming back to the Amazon experience. Sure, I read stories here and there about the working conditions, but still I wanted to give it a shot because during the pandemic, you had no alternative. I started in an Amazon warehouse in 2021 as an area manager for robotics. I had around 30 employees to manage. As it is in my nature, I love to connect to everyone individually. Not only with the employees, also with other managers. So I invited them on a one-on-one. Most of the other managers were surprised and said, "We never had someone who is doing this. This is a good idea, but you will have no time later if you start." This was the first red flag I noticed. They pointed out the obvious, where there was no need for that. So let's say this was a light red flag. In the first days after you start, everything seems good. And to the sign-up bonus I will come later and explain you why it is a trick. Actually, the first 1 to 2 months are not bad at all, as on a manager level you get trainings and are able to work remotely. They keep you as long as it's possible away from the lines. I have a habit, if I'm walking into a new environment, I do not like to look around. I look in people's faces from a distance when I know they are not looking at me. Not because I'm a psycho, it is because I want to see if they are happy. I saw that everyone looked drained, out of energy, although their working day had just newly started. I compared this experience to one PS1 game back in the day, maybe some of you may know, Oddworld Abe's Odyssey. I felt like Abe trying to escape. You work in Germany, a 6-day cycle and a 2-shift system. But to be honest, I don't think it is the system that drains the people. I actually think it is the people who drain other people. As my trainings were over, I started to work at the Amazon warehouse. The employees had outrageous KPIs to catch. Even if they wanted to catch a breath, this was influencing their KPIs. And on top of that, you need to put pressure on them. Maybe not in a shouting way, but psychological pressure. One employee of mine told me that he is working for his family back in Africa to catch a permanent contract. With that, he will be able to bring his family to Germany because they live in a war zone. He worked his butt off, the most precise and fast guy I've ever seen. Because his motivation came from deep inside. And still they laid him off. Now you may ask why. If you work in Germany, at a certain company in a certain position for several years, the company needs to give you a permanent contract. With a permanent contract, the employee has more rights inside of an organization. He can't be laid off that easily. And also he has more freedom regarding his finances because he's more eligible for credits. What most employers are doing is they let those people work until the last day, like my African friend, on a fixed term contract and then lay him off. And they don't do this only on an employer level, they do it also on a manager's level. All managers which are not moving inside the system, how the system wants you to behave, will be fired also. no creativity, and no room for improvement. The only career improvement you achieve is that you can grow in your position if you act exactly the way the organization wants you to act. There were other managers at Amazon who were developing systems and tools just to put more pressure on the employees. And this was a fact why they achieve career growth, as you are just optimizing the system. Those optimizations were for me a humiliation of people. The managers who bowed down and just committed to the system were for me the most disgusting people. And they still are. Most of them are not even skilled. And still they behave in front of their employees like Jesus. This leads to a culture of respect to the faces, but behind your back they are cussing. If I'm giving an employee nightmares as a manager, then I'm freaking bad as a manager, and I'm not meant to be one. What is really sad is in that type of companies, especially people like this are looked after. Even if they have really cool slides in the first place like integration, inclusion, diversity and motivation. This sounds good at first, but none is lived by. If you need to ask employees, and some of them are above 50 years of age, why they take so long at the toilet, then you know something ain't right. So I knew that I wanted to quit, but there was a last favor I wanted to do someone. One of my team members was a fresh-made father, and due to German labor law, you are able to take time off if you want to, and the employer has no right to punish you. He wanted it, they denied it. I made sure that he got what he wanted, and the next day I did quit. I think I did the right thing. What do you think? But quitting is not actually that easy. As I said, sign-off bonus. If you don't know how to handle it, it will be a challenge to overcome it. Think of the sign-off bonus as a one-time payment when you start working for a company. Make sure to read the terms in your contract very carefully. In my contract at Amazon it was stated that this sign-off bonus was held for 2 years. So if you decide to leave after 6 months, then you can only keep that fraction for yourself and need to pay the rest back to the organization. This might sound logic to you, but if you think about it, you are at a new job, you are full of energy, full of motivation and get a huge amount of money as a sign-off bonus. And maybe you start spending this money on other things. And if you then do not have that money in the bank, if you are not happy at your job but you want to quit, then you are locked in, as then you will be not able to navigate around freely on your own will. That is why I'm nowadays working for a company with true values, with nice colleagues who value your health from the bottom of their heart. I hope that everyone will find a similar employer. Moreover, I'm building multiple companies on my own based on the same values, like Collectum, where we treat everyone with nothing but sheer respect. Make sure to check out our app when it drops. To conclude, you can choose to be part of that system, or you can choose to leave, as nothing is mandatory in life. Earning money maybe is very crucial for our lives, but as I said, our life takes us to the weirdest paths, and then it is our job to find the right path for us. It is possible that this path may be changed after 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months or 2 years, but be open to the idea that you change the path if you are not happy, because only then you will grow in your life. Do you have similar experience with employers? Which one was the baddest? Share in the comment section below. If you liked our content, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel. Also follow us on social media, all links in the description box down below. See you in the next one. Bye.